Hello everyone who watches my channel. I love you all for supporting me. Gizmo was really curious what the actual heck I was doing on the stairs here. So he's joining us for a little bit. I'm going to have to move him to do some show and tell, but hey, I needed the love big time. So I'll take it. It's been a strange couple days. Been riding some crazy waves. Still in them, still on them, still kind of being pounded by them as we speak. This little Muppet sure helps with a good deal of it. But yeah, I've been doing quite a lot of crying. Actually, I was really grateful to my friend Stealth today. I hope he watches this at some point, because I just want to say, when you sent me that song today, I was not okay. And I know a lot of people can say that in this weird time that we're in, right? Like, shit's just generally not okay. But I was, not okay. And that's really great, because I feel like I kind of have that sixth sense for people when I can sort of pick up on them not being okay, but I was literally laying there being like, no one cares that I'm not okay, and it doesn't matter to anyone that I'm not okay. And just going down that horrible spiral, and if you know, you know. If you know about that spiral, then you know about that spiral. But I was so grateful, because after this tragedy that just happened in Boulder, I kind of expressed this in my videos the other night, I just had this lump stuck in my throat that was like, I wanted to just be able to sob, right? Like I needed to just really cry, and it was clogged and impeded by all of this anger that Columbine was 20 fucking years ago, and I don't feel like we've made any changes, and I don't feel like we're different as a society. I feel like we're worse, and the rage is more palpable, and I feel more helpless in it than I did in junior high. In junior high, I felt like I had more capability to reach out and participate, and just generally felt more like I was part of something, or stable, ready, willing, wee, all that. So, yeah, and even in junior high, like, they tried to come at us for tank tops, like, not even like this, more like this side. This side is the skanky side. Not at all. We should all be able to walk around with our tits out. Men can, but the boys, would wear, like, their nipples would hang out here and the big scoops, and they would literally come around to us. They were supposed to be 2.5 inches minimum. That's not what they sold at the mall. That's not what the Spice Girls wore, for God's sakes. Think I was going to emulate not the Spice Girls? But they would come around with a ruler, and they would slap the ruler on our shoulders. Flack, flack, flack. And they'd measure, and it was so assaultive and horrible. And the boys were just walking around with their whole ass nipples hanging out. So that's where I make that point, because I felt stronger. And I made this petition at my junior high, got over 1,000 signatures on that bitch. 1,000. Do you know how hard that is in 8th grade? And I was like, hey, I could be just as turned on by nipples as a boy can. Why do they get to have their nipples hanging out? I got so many signatures on that beast, and I felt so good about that. And now I don't even know that I would try to get signatures on something. I feel like the divisions are so profound amongst people that I don't know that would matter. And I know that sounds cynical, and Stealth tried to slap me out of the cynicism. So did my therapist. My therapist, who deals with people, he literally told me he's dealing with people who are on the verge constantly. And I just expressed my thoughts, and he was like, well, Teal, really sounds like the cynicism is getting to you. Like, it's getting the better of you. And that scared me. That hurt me to hear that coming from him, that it was like, I don't want to be cynical, guys. I don't want to feel like there's not change possible. But golly, it's been a long road of feeling like things ain't changing. So I have an interesting array of fashion behind me today. I'm going to kind of show them off one by one. This is basically, I'm just showing off a time that's so meaningful to me. And, I don't know, there's this beautiful quote in one of my favorite documentaries, California Typewriter, Tom Hanks. I will work with you someday, dude. Like, we need to make a movie, bro. And California Typewriter was just a beautiful, beautiful, profound movie that I love so much. And this was way before COVID. My mom, I was really bunkering underground, and my mom saw that this movie was playing locally and said, Teal, you have to go see this movie. And I was like, I don't like anybody anymore. Way before COVID. She was like, Teal, you have to go see this movie. And so I did. And of course, she was right. Mama was right. And there was this wonderful, thoughtful, elderly gentleman in the movie who says, like, people try to tell me, don't live in the past. Don't dwell on the past. And I'm misquoting probably a little, but he says, like, I don't think I dwell on the past. I think that I revel in it, or I savor it. I savor the past. Or what is the wordage he uses? I think he says he savors it. Anyway, whatever it is, it's really beautiful and profound. And he's just trying to say, like, he enjoys the past. He likes to dabble in it and feel it and appreciate it. But lately, I don't know, I think the line's been a little fine for me. Like, maybe I've been doing a little bit of living in the past. I can't help it. I don't know if any of these people who recognize these garments, I don't know if you guys miss it as much as I do, but I feel like I'm doing a really bad job of, like, the grown-up thing. Like, I don't know how to do this. And I knew how to do that. I knew how to be this band muse and this cheerleader and this reveler of life and this hair cutter by the river and this dancer and wannabe romancer who was always picking the wrong person at the wrong time but went after it anyway. I knew how to do that. I'm scared now. I'm really feeling like a lot of scared feelings, but this is a really good one. You know, I'm not even going to go into, like, a whole lot of detail. Maybe if these people don't mind if I do, I'll list all these bands, because you should be able to find this music, but I just kind of want you to feel the feelings of it right at this moment, kind of thing. But you should hear all of this music. You should really, like, do yourself the favor and feel it all. But man, yeah, I don't know if y'all are missing it the way that I am, but it's hurting me. It's hurting me pretty profoundly, the level at which, because I had, like, a role, you know? I was, like, cast in it. And I have a role now. I don't know, I don't dance as much. You've seen this one if you watch the Far Past 420 video. Oh, but yeah, I kind of liked this little setup I had going down. All of these garments are so meaningful to me, and it's almost like, sounds almost kind of gross if you're not, like, one of these sort of kind of people, but it's like I can still smell the sweat from our dance moves in it. I can still smell those people that we were, that we still are. Yeah. So, this one that I'm wearing is Actually, I'm gonna probably end up doing a whole poem and a revisitation of this because I also have a really badass sweatshirt that I made for this. But my homie Midas, who I give a lot of props to in these videos, and I do that because she is a vital part of my journey as a person, as a human, as a wannabe rapper, as an alien, as a carver of my own path, and as a seeker of truths from realms that are beyond this one, all those things. She's my guardian angel, and she says a lot of shit that I need to hear, and so I've woven quotes of hers as well as a few of Stealth's into this poem, and elaborated on some of her words, and then some of it is like I have a whole section in my notes on my phone that's like the brilliance of friends, and it's just constant notes I'm taking. As I've said, I like to, if no one else is going to grab those words and immortalize them and make them poetry, I feel like that's kind of my duty as I'm listening and really processing and really caring what they're saying to me and really holding it as special. I feel like I gotta weave it. I can't just leave it. Gotta weave it into something beautiful. So yeah, she made this for me, and I really needed to wear it to be like, you know what? I am the mother flippin'. She knitted in here in string. Mother flippin'. And you may not know this. I've linked it into my videos. It's a whole section in my, I think they call it playlists on here. But I won the HBO Flight of the Conchords lip dub fansterpiece competition. Like I mother flippin' won it. We were the winners. And it's probably the crowning achievement of my life. We're top 3, way up there. And I think I've spoken a little bit to it. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't brought it up. But I'm going to do a whole poem about it. I'm going to revisit, do a lip dub fansterpiece, re-release, remix, revisit the hip-hopopotamus rhinoceros. I don't know. Preposterousness. Revisit the glory days. But yeah, that was a big deal to me. It was 1,000 people competed in it, and the actual cast and directors picked the winners, not just algorithms and bullshit and views, numbers of clicks that you could get people to click on. It was they chose us. And so I'll do a whole homage to it one of these days because I'm really proud of it. But you can watch it. It's in my playlists. All of just our specific video and then the whole fansterpiece conglommed together. And when I did that, when I pulled that off, I think even actually right before we found out that we won, she made this for me. And it made me feel so special. And it's kind of cool and kind of different sizes on both sides. And it just has this vibe, it has this feeling to it, this great rhino, and it makes me feel really cool, which I have not been feeling lately cool at all. But that's where I was going. Sorry, I row and row in so many different directions in my mind sometimes. But when Stealth sent me this song, it unleashed the ball of tears that I needed, and I wept like a child. I mean, just audibly. And I had been just on and off napping, I kind of have been. I can't stand to have my eyelids open for too long, or the world just starts to burn my retinas. It honestly feels, I know that sounds dramatic. People are fond of calling me that, but the depression's pretty bad. The depression's getting me pretty bad, and that's kind of where I was at. I physically couldn't stand to be awake for too long. So that was excruciating, and I just needed a good cry so badly, and ooh, did it ever come. And I write about the song that was sent to me in here. I reflect on it, where it took me in my mind, and just kind of how much I needed both of those friends today. I was like calling out for somebody to like know me, you know? Does anybody out there know me? Do they want to like talk about it? Have I done anything worthy so far? Just that human thing we do where we berate our whole entire life path and think like, woo, what have I done? Have I fucked it up? And I don't know, from any outsider perspective, you can look at other people's problems and go, what are you making such a big deal about? But there's stuff I don't tell you guys, even though I let you in on a lot. I'll let you in on a lot. There's things I still don't tell you, though. But the pain was pretty significant today. And I so needed those floodgates. Like, I needed that button, that valve to just, like, feel so much longing for the past that I could just sob. That's what I needed. And so, yeah, went down a little bit of a portal with that song and other songs from the past. And sometimes you don't realize how much you miss somebody, their presence, like gifts and presence, physical presence on this planet until you're reminded. And a song sung by our friend Tyler who passed away, and I just, wow, I miss Tyler. I really miss Tyler, and it fucked me up a little bit, but in a way that I like needed to feel. I needed to feel that palpable release of emotions. And yeah, Midas was reflecting on that with me and being like, yeah, man, you just like pumped him up. Like, you just celebrated his every move, Tyler, like every funny thing that he did, you know. She was like, you were just right there cheering that, like, he could do anything. And you were just so overcome with joy, like, by every step that he took and every word he spoke. Like, was, you just became this child of like great processional joy, and just like rooted for him so much, and like everything he did was just this gold to you. Just like, you've never seen anything so cool. And that's actually true. I feel like I did not get to be around him nearly enough, but the instances that I was fortunate enough to participate in his wondrousness, the hands down, flat hands down on the table, funniest human being I ever met in my entire life. No competition whatsoever. Like, not even close. Not even close competition. And I called him Nipplelobe Ultra. That was his nickname, because he's fond of just like whipping his shirt off to just like celebrate. Not even in a like, look at me, I'm so hot way, but just like, life is good. Shirt off. So somehow that evolved into me calling him Nipplelobe Ultra. And God, best nickname ever, right? Like, that's a good one. So the longing is pretty real for me, guys. The things, all the things I've said about how you don't get perspective until you walk a long, winding, painful road past it, and you look back to where you were and go, whoa, holy shit, that was so far away. How did I even start out there? And you can't get that until you make the walk. And wow. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much catching up to me of like, oh, that was my 20s, and now this is my 30s, and what about the 10s, and what about the teens, and all the in-betweens, and what happened there, and was I in control the whole time, or was somebody else? Can I go back? Can I dance to that song one more time? Could we, like, do that one again? Could we, like, get those Reveler pants on, please? Rip our Reveler shirts off and be on that path together instead of like walking that long ass thing alone and being like, oh my god, there's not even a phone out here. How am I gonna get to the next spot? Just those kind of thoughts. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I got to be in my mid 30s. I'm very, very perplexed by it. I don't have a clue. I'm not doing that thing that other mid 30ers are doing. I don't even believe in whatever that is. And so I just feel like I'm not doing enough, or I fucked it up or something. And that's really hard for me. So maybe other people feel like that. Maybe everyone's just having babies and I'm not, or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't know. Tyler is one of those people that I know would like sit down with me and be like, that's exactly how I feel. Like, and he was always so many jokes, but you knew that the empathy was there too, like so rooted. The empathy was so rooted. And he could go to that like deep realm just as easily as he could make you laugh your freaking ass off. And you don't meet too many people like that. Like, some people just keep the jokes at all times to avoid all the other stuff, but he could deep dive with you too. And I know that he'd be telling me it's okay to feel really confused. It's okay to feel like you haven't done enough, or you haven't done the right stuff, or yeah, you're not tough enough. Whatever it is, whatever all that bullshit is we tell ourselves. Boy. So yeah, you're just kind of seeing this weeping, unfolding, barely holding it together kind of version of me, and that's okay because I have a lot of versions, guys, and it's not all just like how can I make it entertaining? Sometimes it's just me restraining myself from being too real because I want to be watchable. But right now seems like a time for realness. Kind of just feels like, I don't know. That's why I brought all this out, because this is just like what I'm actually feeling. This isn't like something I think is gonna get a million clicks. It's just what's actually up. So anyway, so yeah, check out Midas. Midas is one of my thingies, one of my channels that I follow, and the artist formerly known as Kitty Crimes, and she's phenomenal. Phenomenal. And I wove her words into this great thing. So, yes indeed. And I'll try to link some of Stealth's new stuff. I know he's doing a new project too. He's already, few people know who he is. few people here and there know who he is. But he just started a new project with his beautiful wife, and so I'll try to get you that too, because my friends do really brilliant things. They do really brilliant things, and I'm really lucky to know them. I'm really lucky that they're my friends. Like, that I have this behind me right now. That this is like my youth lineage, y'all. Whew. It's crazy. Like, I don't take that for granted for 2 seconds. I don't even take it for granted for a second. That, like, I got to dance to that stuff before Instagram made a thing out of everything. When things were happening in real time in stinky vans, and, like, you had to jump on it right then because it was there. And it wasn't, you couldn't just click it out in this stratosphere of constant attainability. It was like, it was more than that. It was like, it was old man fedora hats and really special smells And every single day of it was show and tell, you know? Yeah. It was so swell. It was like rare. It was rare as fuck. And I got to dance to that. So, dang. Gold star to that. I'll just get to these words. Yeah, I wove it in, wrote it after I got off the phone with these beautiful humans, and gosh, I just really needed both of y'all today. I just want you to know that I needed you both. So check out this beautiful array, and here we go. Day 83. I was shaky yesterday about it, so you'd think I'd be a little bit more on it today, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It's all the same fucking day, man. Janis Joplin line I like to use so much. It is. So, here we go. I would point out every single thing that was Midas's words, but dude, that would take a lot of time. I kind of explain it. It's kind of well stated. Some of it is quotes of hers that I just elaborated on or put rhyme to, but definitely the title, Causally, Effectively. That's her. That's the message she was kind of trying to deliver to me in a broad nutshell. Causally, effectively. Day 83. I was feeling truly incapable of doing anything other than laying in the dark in fear. I called Midas, who tried to jostle me, to make some of the doom cloud cover clear. We've been here, you know that, she stated, matter of fact. We've wondered, how do we steer around this thing? I agreed. Oh, yes, indeed. The curves are dangerous. We're going into the woods, baby. Keep your torch lit. Bring a sturdy toolkit. She tells me, take stock of your intention and aim it. Just because we've met this beast doesn't mean we have to claim it or take it with us in the back seat all the way home. You may recognize this cramped, uncomfortable zone. It doesn't mean we can't find our way around it easily, or that it will respond if we just stay in our rooms and pray. It has a lot to do with a big series of choices we make all day, every single day. Do everything you can by means of addition and subtraction, but do not stay in the stagnation. You are the only one who can choose to set time aside for things like meditation. And it sounds cliche when it's coming from someone who appears to have a better station in life than you, but I guarantee they weren't just plopped down in front of that pristine view, or even if they were, it doesn't mean you can't behold its beauty too. Envision the feeling of safety clearly and often. This won't hold you entirely or heal you all the way through. You need to be continually feeding those big and small rituals for even minor sections to begin to improve. Yeah, baby, you've been locked in through this lockdown, like all the way down for sure. I reflect that it's hard to grow in a closed room with the light blocked. In a room like that, everything feels slow. She suggests you might focus on strengthening your mental and physical connection with yourself and allow the resting to actually be rest. And maybe you'll know. Then maybe you'll know. When I'm mean to myself, I don't sense the gifts in me. Maybe epiphanies come when you trust yourself to have them. Someone grab me a pen. She reflects on an unexpected romance that actually evolved from mutual respect and communication. I think maybe that was the first adult interaction I ever had in my life. The most adult interaction I've ever had in my life. I laugh, which feels good because everything has felt so rife. We all have different limitations when it comes to strife, but dude, you really can do whatever you like. She tries to pull me to the light. I know it feels like fucking primitive war spikes sticking out on every path. There's so many choices, and it's a struggle to know if you're making them for you or on behalf of someone around you. Just take each moment and survey it a sec. I mean, You can put on a headset and answer tech questions, or you can make kink chainmail masks for psychic protection and erotic manifesting. Just be generating some momentum even when you're resting. You don't have to be running marathons to be moving. Be more like Rick Rubin. Do Zen shit all day or just more often. Let that horrific cynicism soften even a little. Let your child mind take over and make some illogical design. Just don't resign. Do not resign. Fuck that. That's what you do. You just don't resign. No one feels cool right now, man. I saw an interview with Mac DeMarco, and he's cool as fucking cool can be in my eyes. And he looked just stunned as most people I see walking around. Like, just as stunned as most people I see walking around. Like, nah, I haven't written anything in a while. And you could just tell he's scared and in denial that this is where we're actually at as a collective. Because who wants to admit that? Even people who really, really crush it, like kicking ass at the Grammys crush it, look kind of dead behind the eyes. And I bet they go home and cry and go, whoa, what is happening? Who am I? I know shit is fucked, but it's go time. It's go time! Her words have roots. They don't just float around. I get so weighed down by the flighty sounds. I feel less and less profound the more and more people get verified accounts. I go sit outside and try to process and figure out which way I'm gonna get on that go time. How the fuck I'm gonna walk around the corner, let alone jet set. And I find that I'm not done crying yet. Another of our former wild bunch must have had some hunch earlier that I had needed serious boosting. That I was roosting in my self-induced murk and not in a restorative way. He sent me a very special song today, performed by a beautiful friend of ours who passed away. And I had forgotten, as we all forget ways in which we are celebrated, that this friend dedicated my favorite of his band's songs to me. In this recording, he says, clearly, this one's for Teal. And I can be heard squealing with absolute joy from the audience. It was their most beloved song. I was being so down on myself all day long, just feeling so far gone. He assured me, you are a star in whatever you do. Being immortalized in the Science Partner song with a dedication, that's being a star. I know he's right, but I feel like I've marred my own confidence for reasons that don't even make sense to me. I haven't heard my own laugh that unleashed and free in quite some time now. Why aren't we more aware of those standout times? I wish I'd filled up every line of blank notebook paper with those quotes and lyrics and hopes of all those late nights that often evolved into still awake and dancing come orange light mornings. I wish we got some kind of advanced warning that the bulk of us would quickly become full-blown grown-ups and that we'd better savor that oh-so-rare twinkling stuff. But of course, even then, I questioned constantly if I was enough. I huffed and puffed about my every move, even when every night was music and expression and I felt somewhat in the groove. Fucking depression. Why you always gotta come for my mood? I want to smile and do a tassel dance, but I'm still afraid of getting booed. To think child me would have never believed she'd ever be subdued, especially not by her own damn doubts. Trying to locate my go-time self's whereabouts. She's out there somewhere, I guess trying to wrangle her own white horse. In some pre-pandemic advice I scribbled down while feeling yet again like I was drowning, Midas once said of the missing pieces of oneself conundrum, that needs a counterpart that equals its weight in centrifugal force. Whatever the equivalent of that is in physics, it needs an equal opposing force. Just ask for it. You are deserving of good things. You may have survivor's guilt and all kinds of what if guilt, but fuck it. Don't match the disengaging. Match the opposite. She rocks personas. She pulls down from this faucet of lightning. She's gotten knocked around by judgment, but she doesn't begrudge the scowling faces or the misplaced hate. She just keeps on pumping her mojo to make the music play. Her theory on the haters? Well, they're all gonna have to kiss my ass either way. I don't give a shit. I do not give a shit. Ask me. I don't. You wanna put a pointless, petty roadblock on my path? Hey, fuck around and find out. I've battled my own damn self so brutally, I'm the only thing that's stopping me. You're sure as shit not going to. You have to choose you. Choose to be chosen. I'm just done with doors closing, I add. But we are originals, she says. We don't need to hop on fads. She's so alive when she sings. She tells me how she plans to grow younger and just always bring the most she can bring. She pumps up that confidence saying, ooh, if anyone even dared to tell me I'm too old to do something, whew, just try it. We both see that. Oh, you're in your 30s limitation, and we're determined to defy it. You do not have to identify with the bullshit, she proclaims. Be Ray Charles. Don't play the common people game. Have you seen the way that man smiles every single time he gets to deliver music? Choose it. Choose that beaming. It only gains meaning if you share it. She reflects on the ways we've both stood in our own way. I'm nearing the end of needing to perpetuate this story and keep leaning on the narrative of it. I'm nearing the end of needing to tell the story so much. I don't want to be in that same story anymore. I didn't have the strength or courage to do two things at once emotionally. Like, what? I let this happen? People are afraid to throw a real fit, I add. I want to throw a real fit and just have people be like, yeah, I get it. I can feel for all of them, but if I show emotion beyond, oh, I'm okay, then they turn away. Yes, she explained beautifully. You have group mob empathy. You can fully feel a million people you don't know on the internet. I believe that. The trick right now is, and sometimes it's impossible to do this, because sometimes you gotta release. Because if you don't release, you'll be in a regret spiral. But I'm trying to do it too. I am pushing myself to put into practice what I preach to myself and to others who trust me constantly. What do I want my future self to be thinking? What is she listening to? What do I hope she's learned? What scary corners has she turned? What could she wake up and be excited about? I express this constant fear about my future self and defeat. She tells me empathetically, hey dude, don't wait for the exact perfect song to dance to. Just fucking dance when the music pops on. Like in every way, get up on your feet. Don't wait for a beat collaborator. Just make beats. I got good friends. I'm still really confused about how to make beats though. I wish I could. I'm really gonna try. You know I'm trying to be a rapper. I want to be a rapper, but don't wait for a beat. Just make beats. Don't wait for a beat. Just make beats. There we go. The stairwell beats. Nailed it. Nailed it. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm hugging all my friends' t-shirts, smelling the ways that I've sweated to their concerts. Yes, the sweetest sweat that I've made. So hey, all y'all out there that I danced with or danced to your grooves or felt jealous of you or whatever the fuck was going on. I'm so glad you're a part of it. I'm so glad you're a part of that story with me. And it was glorious. It It was a really glorious time. And I hold it in my mind very dearly. Obviously, it just never, it never has found like a comparison lane where I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty close. You know, it just was this, the most of the most of the most. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky that that's woven in to my the pits of my shirts and my dreams. Been dreaming about all y'all a lot lately. Like, woo. I told Midas some of that. I don't care if you shared what I told you, Midas, about those dreams. It's been pretty crazy. Those scenes of competitions and symposiums and underground dance shows and just a lot of that. A lot of weaving of all the music that took place, but in this kind of like, now it's in your face and you gotta compete for it and you gotta, if you want it, you gotta hold it. And yeah, anyway. Thanks for being with me on day 83. I've obviously been like a very weepy little orchid. Talked about the orchid and the dandelion. And it's hard out there for us dandelions sometimes, but I mean, orchids. I want to be a dandelion. I mean, not that it's not hard for dandelions. Dandelions got their own set of circumstances. People always trying to come around, plucking them, wishing on them, using their strength, using the fact that they're resilient. But orchids, it's hard out there for us orchids. But hey, they're beautiful. They're still beautiful. They've got their paper delicacy so affected by the breeze. But hey, when you feel everything, you get to tell some pretty interesting stories because you feel all the many strands of it. So yeah, I'm glad to be an orchid, even though it's hard to maintain. And man, my eyes just itch from crying. You get that? Or you're just like, oh my gosh, the emotions. I need some lubrication, some eyeball lotion. For all this crying, I'm all dried out. It's okay to feel it though, guys. It's a lot. If you're not feeling it, then you're probably just turning into a bot. You don't want to be that. Trust me. It may seem alluring to be a bot, but it's not. It's not hot to be a bot. So, thanks to all these stories behind me. I feel really crazy lucky to have them be part of my tapestry. And happy day 83. And we'll see what I have in store for day 84. I don't know yet. I didn't know today. I wrote this poem probably 4 hours ago. So this is really good. It's really good for me. I'm feeling like very bad at adulting. Bad. D-. I mean, I'm getting a lot of laundry done. But I'm feeling solid A for being an artist and writing every day and pulling out old poetry and adding to it and writing brand new poetry and taking things and quotes and texts that I didn't even know were poetry and infusing them into a poetical fusion, people. Fusion. Yeah, just digging out old journals, digging out 8th grade me, digging out 2nd grade me. Finally busting out some of these quotes, like all that stuff Midas said that was probably 2 years ago, you know, about just all of it. Who do you want your future self to be? What do you want your future self to be dancing to? What do you want your future self to be proud of from your past self? All that. It's good stuff. So, yeah, it's been pretty rough in my thoughts and pretty rough and tumble. But in a humble way, not like, I'm the shit, but in a humble way, I'm like, I'm doing art on a daily basis. And that is the first time in my entire life I've been able to say that. So that feels pretty good because I'm not doing the like, more coffee, more coffee, more coffee, more coffee, do you need more coffee? Not doing that for the first time in 15 years. So I'm grinding those artist gears. Because I am the mother flippin'. I'm the mother flippin'. I'm the mother flippin'. I'm the mother flippin'. Yeah. Close. Excuse me, ma'am. Pardon me. I won't take your seat. Trust me. You're good. So, that's it. I just want to keep talking to you all night because I feel like I'm doing this poetry thing and processing thing and shining light in places that desperately need light. So it feels like a good exercise and I want to keep going. But we'll just leave it there and we'll say fare thee well. And then we'll bring you more. We'll uncover more for 84. So Gizmo, come here. Come say goodnight to everybody. Say, hey, I'm a cutie. You guys have yourself a good night. I'm getting pretty tired here, so me and my mom are gonna go to bed, and she's gonna pet my head and give me cuddles. But y'all come back now for day 84, okay? Okay. Good night.